So alright guys, today on my channel we're going to be doing something a little bit different. You guys all know me as Michael B. the Game Genie, but probably my second biggest passion in life, and probably the thing I've actually enjoyed even longer than video games, is wrestling. I've been a long time WWF fan, I've been following it, and I thought I might take a couple minutes and share some of my thoughts along with my friends on the upcoming WrestleMania card. WrestleMania is the best time of the year to be a wrestling fan. Well, at least Maybe. It was until before the last 3 years, but usually WrestleMania is an awesome time. So we're going to talk about the build-up for WrestleMania 32, which is, you know, the biggest WrestleMania ever before injuries. So, yeah, let's talk about it. So, before I start, you guys may have seen these two guys in some of the other videos I've done. This is my good friend Steve Kelly, longtime wrestling fan. And this is my friend Tom Manning, longtime wrestling fan. So, guys, let's talk WrestleMania. Before we even talk about any of the matches, I just want an honest opinion. Thumbs up, thumbs down. How do you feel the build for WrestleMania has been? Overall. All Bootistas. Right across the board. It's been a bad build, and would you say that the build has been so bad? Is it because of the injuries, or do you think it would have made a difference?
Injuries make it hard because they have limited amount of people to push now because there's so many people who have potential that are out.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, yeah, injuries does make a difference, and the talent is not there like it was years ago. Like, what I mean is, like you said, they have these no-namers. We said earlier before, you got these people that are doing this main event in wrestling. They're main event in wrestling, but you should be main event in, say, a house show or something like that, right? So the talent is not there.
Well, I think there's plenty of talent. I don't think talent's the issue. Lots of talent. Plenty. It's just, I think the talent's place on the card is not accurate. Yeah. Alright, well, anyways, let's get started with the matches. So, right now, the card is not finalized, but we're pretty sure what all the matches are. So, we'll go through each one. I've got them all photographed terribly here in my memory. Ugh. But anyways, first up, let's talk about the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. The big change this year is it's actually only going to be 20 superstars as opposed to 30 as in previous years.
Really?
And that's a lot because of the injuries, and the card is actually a lot longer.
That may make the match better because it's not make so much of a cluster.
Not so much of a cluster. F.
Yes.
U. N. Fun.
Cluster fun.
Cluster fun.
Well, it's going to be quicker, too. People kind of enjoy the Battle Royal matches, but I mean, 20 people is going to go fairly quicker than usual. Unless you got people that are going to, you know, endurance stamina staying in the ring longer and stuff, right?
My only hope is that it's actually on the WrestleMania card. I hope they don't move it to the pre-show. Yeah. I hope they don't do that. Pretty sure. Who do you think's going to win?
I honestly can't say.
I don't know.
The early projection is it might be Mark Henry because this is his last WrestleMania, and
people push for you.
You know, he's from the Texas area, but I will bet you everything that I have right now in my pockets, which is like 3 certs. I will bet you everything in my pocket right now that's going to be Braun Strowman.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because Vince loves him, man. Vince wants to do something with him.
Why are they pushing the Y family? I don't understand.
Well, I got no problem with them pushing the Y family. I just got a big problem with Braun Strowman because for some reason he looks like some kind of weird Game of Thrones reject rather than a member of the Y family. Like he's wearing like Outback Jack's riding pants. He's not like he doesn't even look like the rest of the family. Like the distinct style they gave him, I don't know if it's just
like
weird
Bayou type.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not Bayou at all. It's like he's on like some kind of weird safari, and this is like I don't even know what they're called, but they're like jockey pants. Like honestly, like I don't know if he ate a horse and a jockey and then simulated the clothes onto him. But I think it's going to be Braun Strowman, and I just want to say this because no one's mentioned it yet. Vince loves big guys, and Braun Strowman, doesn't it kind of sound like Brawny Strongman? Did you ever think of that before?
No.
Brawny.
Yeah.
Strongman. Braun Strowman.
Yeah. I know.
You see where I'm going?
Yeah.
Anyways, I digress. So we're gonna
Roman Reigns, whatever, you know.
So we're gonna move on. Next matchup is AJ Styles. This isn't announced, but it's gonna happen. AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho 4.
Every match I've seen so far has been awesome. I can't see why this would be any different.
Wrestling wise, it's gonna be excellent, right?
Yes. Oh yes, definitely.
My problem with it is so much so soon. Like it's
4
just
times.
they've really tried to push this angle at us, and it's an awesome angle. 2 great workers, gonna be a great match. Tear the house down. It's just, oh man, how many times have they wrestled? And this is a big problem with WWE's booking in general lately. It's just like, we got an idea for a match at the pay-per-view. Dolph Ziggler versus Kevin Owens. You know how we're going to build it up? They're going to wrestle 17 times on TV for free before the pay-per-view.
I think it's lazy writing.
But it's terrible booking.
You're going to be, the fans are going to get bored of it pretty quick.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great for the first couple of times, 1 or 2 times, but 4, 5, 6 times, fans are going to say, man,
you go
it's
back.
getting old.
You go back to the early WrestleManias. I mean, like you'd have a match wasn't even like big on the card. It'd just be like Billy Jack Haynes versus Hercules Hernandez. They never wrestled once going into it, but wrestling was different then. You didn't have every single week big wrestlers versus big wrestlers. It was always, Hercules would take on local jobbers, and then they'd run interference at the end of the match. But really, that's what it should be. I mean, they've really got to realize who the jobbers are in the rosters. And just, if they're going to use big guys, and they're going to have competitive matches all the time, you need to signify exactly who your jobbers are, so that they're getting trounced each week by the big guy. You're not going to have Dolph Ziggler versus Kevin Owens every week on
Do you
Raw.
think that because of that, that's why there's so many injuries? Because they're running them into the ground. It's always big guys versus big guys. Instead of just...
I think they're overusing it, and it's actually some of the old WCW booking. They used to run through all their big matches on the events, and actually not, what I mean?
No-name ones for the house shows.
Yeah. Anyways, that's enough of that. So AJ Styles versus Jericho 4. We can all agree
entertaining, yes.
it's going to be amazing, but it's not something we haven't seen like 100 times before. Unless AJ Styles is going to, unless it's going to be something crazy, there's still a chance that they're not even going to have this match. Which leads me to my next point. It might not actually be Styles versus Jericho 1-on-1, because they might get lumped in to the Intercontinental title ladder match.
Man.
Because the way it's looking right now, when Sami Zayn came out, I was so excited. I was like, oh my god, Intercontinental title, Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. This is going to be amazing. But it looks like it more like as it's going along, it's going to be a multi-person ladder match.
Oh no.
So what do you think?
Ladder match.
It worked last year, but meh.
I don't know. If they want to change it up, I mean, if they did Jericho and Styles in a ladder match, that's fine. But a 4-person ladder match?
Well, I think it was going to be more people for sure until Neville got hurt.
Yeah.
I think it was going to be more people. Neville was definitely going to be in that match. And there's no way he wasn't.
Yeah. I don't want a ladder match, but I mean,
See, the thing is, I think they're trying to force the ladder match because they took Money in the Bank away to make their own pay-per-view, and then they realized, oh shit, that was an attraction for Mania. People really look forward to.
Yeah.
So now we got to find a way to force a ladder match. I'm just so disappointed because, if you can go back and watch it, it would have been the first time that they've taken a feud all the way from the Indies right into WWE up into WrestleMania. Zayn versus Owens, going back to Jericho versus Cena. I mean, they work incredible. Like, if you've watched the NXT matches they had, they're amazing, right?
Kevin Owens is good anyway.
Kevin Owens is the best heel in the business right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
he is.
Styles is good too.
They're booking him terribly, and he's still the best.
Yeah.
And this is not me being a big Kevin Owens fan, because I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't know who Kevin Steen was until one night accidentally, and I watched ROH on Fox, and all of a sudden I was like, who's Kevin Steen? I didn't even see him wrestle. I saw him in a backstage segment. Yeah. And then when he came to WWE, I was like, oh, so this is the guy I heard so much about. And I was like, yeah, it's worth it. And it's not even, his wrestling's fantastic, but it's not even that. It's just him outside the ring. You hear him with commentators and stuff like that. Yeah. It's amazing.
Not just that, but his interaction on Twitter with fans trying to say stuff to him.
I don't follow that as
all
much,
the time. He's really good at it.
So anyways, it looks like it's going to be a multi-person ladder match, and my biggest gripe with it is, I'd rather, if they're going to do a multi-person ladder match, bring back Money in the Bank. Get rid of the pay-per-view. The pay-per-view is terrible. Figure, what's next?
Robot, or was that Fastlane?
What?
The Money in the Bank.
No, Money in the Bank is a pay-per-view called Money in the Bank.
Yeah, but when they replaced it, what did they replace it with?
They didn't replace it.
They didn't replace it.
There's still Money in the Bank. They replaced the Money in the Bank ladder match from WrestleMania with a pay-per-view. So anyways, bring back Money in the Bank. You want to do a multi-person ladder match. It's a great way to showcase guys that otherwise wouldn't be showcased. Do it.
Yeah.
And stop doing the stupid pay-per-view.
Do you think they might have somebody from NXT pop out as unannounced? I mean, look at how many gaps they had to fill in the roster.
I think that's going to be saved. There might be an NXT guy or two in the Andre Battle Royal.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think there's going to be anything big on the show itself. I think that's going to be saved for the night after. Usually that's what happens, right? So anyways, here's the thing that frustrates me the most. If this becomes the multi-person match for a mid-card title, and I hate using the word mid-card title because IC should be much more.
Yeah.
So you're going to do that match, the Intercontinental title, with two amazing wrestlers who will put on a hell of a performance. But yet, for the U.S. title, you're going to put Kalisto, which is a failed attempt. Like they keep saying, we need to find a new Rey Mysterio. And Kalisto's awesome. I'm not saying he's not.
He's not Rey Mysterio.
But Kalisto right now has zero momentum as U.S. champion.
Yeah.
Then you're going to put him in as Ryback, the man who blocked me on Twitter. So why does Ryback versus Kalisto, who are not going to have any chemistry, the match is going to be absolute shit. It's going to be, honestly, the lowest form of shit. It's going to be like Mexican food diarrhea. Why?
You know why, Mike? Because
why does Ryback have a match?
Vince McMahon likes the big guys.
He has a hard for him.
Ryback is this big, muscular guy beating up on this little...
And if you want to know why Ryback blocked me on Twitter, is because he decided he was going to wear black trunks. And I made a comment to somebody else to say, oh my god, why is he going with all black gear? People chanted Goldberg at him for years, and they finally stopped chanting Goldberg at him. So now he's going to dress just like him? He's like, oh, you guys forgot, you're supposed to chant Goldberg at me. And that's all I said, and he blocked me for it.
Lately, people have been chanting Gilbert.
Gilbert? That's more accurate. Listen, I watched Ryback his whole career. When he came out of Skip Sheffield with the big lariat, I was like, man, I hope this really works out for him. And when he came out as Ryback originally, they built him up as this monster face with CM Punk and stuff, I was like, hey, this guy's cool, he could do something. But after that, when they turned him heel against John Cena, it kind of went downhill. And then he tried to evolve his wrestling style, and he's like, I'm going to do some athletic stuff. And I'm like,
steal other people's moves.
I'll get into that later. But so, in conclusion, Ryback versus Kalisto is a terrible idea. The U.S. title should have been the multi-person ladder match. If they're going to take one of the mid-card titles, that should have been the one.
What kind of gets to me is the IC used to be something that the big guys went for first, and they moved on to the heavyweight. Yeah. And now it's probably going to be the second match of the WrestleMania.
And that was the idea. Last year they really wanted to bring prestige to those middling titles, so they had John Cena win the US, and they had Daniel Bryan win the IC. So arguably the two biggest stars in the last 5 years would have both the middling titles. Mm-hmm. And it would have been great, but then Daniel Bryan got hurt. And the thing about the IC title that pisses me off more than anything else is it's supposed to be the workers' title, because Vince loves the big guys. But usually the IC title goes to the best worker, the guy who has the best matches, best all-around wrestler is the IC champion. Yeah. And instead of doing that, after Daniel Bryan got hurt, they put it on the Ryback. And it ruined it. It was like, yes, this title has credibility again with Daniel Bryan. Now let's put it on Ryback. Project Destroy My Own Company continues. So anyways, that's all I'm going to say about that. We got cut off in the middle of another rant. I hate Ryback. I don't. I want him to be good, but there's just something not there. And this whole Kalisto thing, since they put the title on him, you know what? Lucha, it's great, the Lucha Dragons, but realistically, they've ruined the Lucha Dragons, who could arguably be in a tag team match. Kalisto with the U.S. title means nothing. Alberto Del Rio winning the title from John Cena means nothing. Yeah. It just makes no sense. Moving on from that. So next up, we've got another tag match that's announced, which is the Dudley Boys versus the Usos. What? If you like the Usos and you're Uso crazy, you're part of the problem. So what do you think of the Dudley Boys versus the Usos? Before I say anything else, I understand that there's a ton of people hurt this year, so the roster is a little bit light. So I don't know if you noticed, but this is a lot more matches than we're used to seeing on a WrestleMania card. And I think they're going back to the old adage with WrestleMania, the years where they didn't have a lot of big attractions. They just had a ton of matches, and that's really what we're getting this year. We're not getting the quality, so it's quantity over quality this year, where they just don't have it in anything else.
I think it'll be a half-decent match. I'm glad the Dudleys went heel.
Yeah.
Yes. Very glad about that. Usos, I'm not a huge fan of them. I don't know why. They're
great, but they're great. Their character is just it's vanilla, but it's just bad vanilla. Yeah. it's I almost feel bad because like it's like Roman Reigns, Usos, and I'm like, am I anti-Samoan? But it's not. It's just like their shtick and who they are. It's just so. It's so hard.
A lot of kids like him. I think that's who they're geared towards. That's why it doesn't connect with me. But that's why I like the Dudleys.
I don't understand what the deal with the leggings is. Like, honestly, that's the thing that's all I can fixate on now. Like, I don't even watch the match anymore when they have their super kick party. You're not the Young Bucks. So, anyways, they have their super kick parties, and I'm just looking at it, and I'm like, why are they wearing women's leggings under their shorts? And like, I can't watch anything else. I'm just like, why the leggings? Like, it's unnecessary. I mean, you guys just, tape up your feet, wear your weird, like, lycra shorts, and, why the leggings? Like, it makes no sense.
Arenas are cold,
Arenas are cold. Like, I'm sorry, like, it's just like, well, dudes can wear yoga pants, too, under our shorts.
No, they cannot.
Anyways, I mean, this match should be just fine. It's just... I don't feel anything for the Usos. The Usos don't bring... No. Like, I don't get Uso crazy. I'm just... Win. Like, I find everything...
Usos win.
Go ahead. Yeah. Alright. Well, anyways, let's move on past that because I don't want to talk about crap. So then, more crap, you've got the Lads, which I hate that they're calling them now, the League of Nations, which is the most thrown together garbage ever in the world because they were like, Sheamus is champ, so... he's not getting over as a good heel, so let's stick a bunch of other heels with him. And maybe this is something they wanted to do, but the League of Nations is terrible. Like, it's worse than the Social Outcasts.
Are they trying to be like the Four Horsemen or something, or is that what they're...
No. The Four Horsemen of crap.
well, yeah, but are they trying to make this like just this, I guess, group, or that was like evolution kind of thing?
I think the thing is they didn't know how to push any of them, so they didn't screw it, we'll slap them together in a group.
Yeah, that's what happens a lot of the times. Okay. This League of Nations is the worst thing they've ever done. Like, I don't know. They've expanded their writing and creative division 15-fold in the last, 10, 15 years. Probably 100-fold. It went from being, Vince, Pat Patterson, Gerald Briscoe, and, 6 guys sitting down by a pool coming up with ideas to, having, 300 people in a boardroom, having marketing people, having daytime TV writers writing for them. And it's gotten worse. Yeah. Incredibly worse. It's like they don't understand what they're doing. Like, it makes no sense.
We know what the problem is. Vince McMahon.
We'll come back to that.
But it is true, though. It is.
We'll come back to that. So anyways, you got League of Nations versus the New Day. I think this is a huge waste because I don't even know if it's a tag team title match. You have the tag team. No, it's just 2 on 3, 3 on 4 handicap or whatever it is. But we don't even know if it's for the tag team titles. Why not take the tag team titles off the New Day so you have another exciting match on the card if you're so jazzed up about having New Day versus League of Nations at WrestleMania? Well, and here's the other thing too. New Day are awesome. New Day had an incredible year, but they're not faces. By no means are they faces. Not yet. No. They haven't won over the crowd in that capacity. League of Nations are anti-heat because no one actually boos them because you're not booing them like, oh, boo, I hate you, Nikolai Volkov. You're booing them because it's like an absence of energy. We're like, we want you off the screen. And anybody who says, well, any reaction's a good reaction. No, it's not. No, it's not. Bullshit. Sometimes you get that negative heat, which is just like, I'm booing because I do not want to see you here. And it sucks too because you know what? Sheamus is good. Wade Barrett's good. Rusev is good. Alberto Del Rio's good. But for some reason, that combination, this storyline, everything just sucks.
Doesn't make any sense, really.
No.
You just slap them together, and the next Raw they're together. Like, why are these people? I don't understand.
Yeah. Well, it was something to do with Sheamus. They're trying to build this heel stable, this unstoppable heel stable to get Reigns over. Yeah. And that's what it all comes back to in the end. It's whatever to get Roman Reigns over.
Yeah.
So that's that. Now let's move on to something positive. Well, not positive, because we're going to talk about the other women's match first. So anyways, they're shaping something up where Lana, Trinity Fatu, Trinity, and, what's her name? Jimmy Snuka's daughter. Tamina Snuka. And possibly Summer Rae is going to be added to it. So it looks like it's going to be an 8-women tag team match. And then on the other side, you're going to have Brie Bella, Naomi Fox, Paige, and probably Natalya added to it. So you're going to have an 8-woman tag team match. What do you think of that? Why have Lana wrestle? Like, I've never seen Lana wrestle once,
Again,
but yet she's going to have a match in
There's
WrestleMania.
No, I think they want to do that for a long
It's
time.
Total Divas match.
Yeah.
That's what it is. This is Total Divas. Yeah. It's like, oh, we need, this is an episode of Total Divas.
Well, if they're going to do that, you might as well have a lingerie fight like they did back in the day.
Lingerie fight.
Well, that's the thing. Like, they're talking about, we want, this the Divas revolution, and we want women to be respected as athletes.
Well, don't call them divas.
And they keep putting, well, that's the first one.
Yeah.
But they keep putting these fluff women, like Lana and Summer Rae, in matches when they're not really up to it. They can't really wrestle yet.
No.
And honestly, it's going to be a shame because people are going to watch that and say, wow, like, this has put women's wrestling back 20 years.
Well, that's like putting managers in the ring. Like the same thing with like years ago with say.
Oh, the WrestleMania I went to with Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler in the ring.
Really? Yeah. Well, that's like putting like say Bobby Ray Heenan and like
Bobby Heenan could actually work better
yeah,
than
but
most of the guys today.
what I'm saying is like
have you ever seen a Bobby Heenan match?
Yeah, but Heenan and like say Jimmy Hart, Mouth of South, right? I mean, the same thing. Put managers in a ring with say two other big guys and have an 8-man match. You're outman outgone.
No, that's not fair because a couple of years ago, the WrestleMania I went to see WrestleMania 27. It was like Trish Stratus and Maria Menounos with, I can't remember who it was.
Snooki or something, wasn't it?
Or no, maybe that's what it was. It was Snooki. Maybe Snooki was in the ring against Dolph Ziggler and Michelle McCool and Layla.
Oh yeah.
And that was actually entertaining. Really entertaining.
Exactly, entertaining.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's it's.
But this match, there's nothing really entertaining about these 8 women.
No.
Natalya is a good worker.
Paige is good.
Paige is really good.
Charlotte's not match.
Yeah, we'll come to that next.
Okay.
But it's going to be a mess. That's all the energy I'm putting into it. Mess. Next up is the Triple Threat Divas match. And I'm going to say it, like, they talk about Kevin Owens, Zayn. It's certainly not going to be Kalisto versus the Ryback. Anyways, this match, this 3-way Divas match, has a possibility to steal the show.
Either that or definitely top 3 matches.
Yeah, definitely.
So who's it? It's Charlotte?
Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and the boss, Sasha Banks.
Oh, Sasha Banks.
And you know what? We've seen this match in NXT a ton of times. It is what it is, and it's going to be great. It's just, it's going to be, hopefully it's going to be the NXT match. Hopefully they give them enough time. They can't do this in a 5-minute throwaway Divas match on WrestleMania.
Yeah.
they had to at least get 15, 20
Well, they were building this up for a while, aren't they? They're building up the whole storyline.
They've been building up
Sasha.
They've been building up Sasha Banks' ascension to be Divas champion.
Yeah.
for
Let's
a
hope
while
she doesn't
now.
get spiked again, because that was gross.
Oh yeah, well Becky's not in this match, and there's no reverse
Yeah.
hurricanrana off the top rope, so we should be good.
I didn't see that.
That was that. Yes, you did. It was NXT Takeover.
Oh yeah,
Brooklyn.
Yeah.
All right.
Gross.
Anyways, we don't need to actually talk about the match because it's going to be fantastic. Just watch. So we'll move into the 3 main events. Bullshit. There's only 1 main event.
Yes.
So, anyways, first up is Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose. What do you think of that?
I think it's going to be good, but the fact that they had to relegate it to a street fight,
Yeah.
kind of.
The reason why they did that, you should come in frame more. I don't know why you're doing that out there, Pally boy.
Did you scare me?
So anyways, I think it was because when they booked it, the initial reaction was everybody was like, Brock Lesnar's going to kill this guy. I love Dean Ambrose, but at the same time, I mean, the way they booked Ambrose, they have not booked him at the level where he's anywhere near Brock Lesnar.
No.
So they had to make it a street fight because he's the lunatic fringe, and he's going to use all his weapons. I love this match. I'm looking forward to it.
I am too. Yeah.
But I mean, if it wasn't a street fight, it'd just be like
No, it's
Brock
not gonna be
Lesnar suplexes
Pounding
weird
the
guy with a muscle shirt on 48 times.
Brock Lesnar pounds the crap out of some guy.
Yeah,
Brooklyn Baller 2.0.
Yeah. So anyways, this is honestly out of the matches leading up to WrestleMania, this is the one people are probably the most excited about. Like it is going to be fun. Dean Ambrose is a heck of a wrestler. He's a heck of a personality.
I hope they do it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all. I'm like.
Well-
I love Dean and I love Brock. So
Who's going to win? Put your hand up. Who do you think's going to win?
Brock.
Brock would have
Yeah,
to.
Brock. It's gonna be Brock.
But-
I want Dean to win, but it's gonna be Brock.
But like, how much of a push would it be? Like you're at WrestleMania 13, Austin versus Bret Hart. They had the opportunity to do that with this match, like almost like the double turn, and have Dean Ambrose become the company's next big star. Because
That would
he's
be
there.
awesome.
Like honestly,
Yeah,
going into
that would be
WrestleMania, he is the person the fans are most behind on the face side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. But it won't happen.
But I mean,
It won't happen.
I think it's going to be your typical Dean Ambrose match where he busts his ass, almost wins so many times, only to lose in the end. he looks like he's going to win every time. They book him like this. It looks like he's going to win, and then he gets so close, but he doesn't. Every single match. And eventually, after a while, we're just not going to care. It's the same thing they did with Ziggler for a while. They were like, Ziggler never wins, but it always looks like he could.
Yeah.
Just like inches away, and then he loses. But after a while, you just realize, yeah, this guy loses every match. He's a loser.
Wow.
And it's not that, like, it doesn't matter how good a performance is. If you do not book somebody to win some matches, sometimes, they're never going to be believable.
No.
And that's the backwards booking WWE's had for years. Only one person can win every match. John Cena! For years, right?
He's not wrestling, he'll still win.
Cena wins, LOL. Yeah. Then it moves to Roman wins, LOL.
No, Roman wins, BLO.
So, you've got that match. Then, so we all think Lesnar.
I just want to say something. I wish the writers and Vince would take a chance. If they let, let's say, Ambrose win against Triple H in that Raw and got the belt, imagine a triple threat match with Reigns.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that would have worked out way better.
Yeah, honestly, like, you go back to Fastlane and then Roadblock, and the reaction from the fans was crap. And neither event was crap. Like, the wrestling was fine. Yeah. It's just that sense of...
It's predictable.
It's not even predictable, because predictable's fine. Because if they do something good, predictable's fine.
Yes.
But it's that sense of inevitability. It's just like, we're giving you Roman. We don't want Roman. No. Like, you got a perfectly fine Ambrose there. Why not use him? No, we're giving you Roman. You know, even Lesnar, we'll take that. Like, just no, please God, no.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyways, moving on to probably the weirdest match, Shane versus Taker. And before we even talk about that, I want to go back to when Shane came out. That was one of the best surprises in years. Like, it was fantastic.
That was awesome.
I was so excited.
Nothing is surprisable anymore. There's always leaks and all that stuff.
I was so amped up. I was like hitting walls and stuff. I was like, Shane, yeah! And then they announced the reason Shane's back is he's going to have a match against Taker at WrestleMania. And I was like, what? Like, the minute he came back and the way he started talking about how they were ruining the company, I was like, here's the audible for WrestleMania. Yes. They know they can't go Reigns versus Triple H. And then they were like, no, Shane's back because John Cena wasn't well enough to take on Taker, so we just had to throw somebody in there.
Yeah.
And, like, it makes no sense. Like, here's the thing. They could have brought Shane back and said, Shane, you were going to wrestle for Control of Raw against Bray Wyatt. And I would have said, holy shit, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then they could have used any talent on the roster to face Undertaker, and it would have got that talent over in a match with Taker. They could have had 2 matches. Nope, they ruined it, and they have 1. This match is still going to be incredible. I mean, it's just going to be what it is. It's going to be a spectacle. It's not going to be great technical wrestling match. And honestly, Taker can't do that anymore. No. So, you know.
Poppy's tired.
Poppy's tired,
yeah.
But, like, I just think they missed a boat here. Like, you know what, if you didn't want to bring Shane back to be involved changing the main storyline for the audible that was hand-delivered to you not to do what you're doing, you could have done something different. But they didn't. My
question is, why is she, like, usually didn't Shane leave before and say he didn't want nothing to do with the company and all this stuff?
From what I understand, he's only back for Mania. Like, he's just going to do this match.
They're not going to let him take over Raw. That's
no.
No.
Plus, I think they should. We had this conversation before. I think they should.
Yeah, but Tommy, like, honestly, they've opened Raw in the past 2 years only twice with matches. Every single other time, it's been an authority promo, pretty much, or like sometimes.
Yeah, what I'm saying, but see, the thing, like, he should come back and say, but you know, like the fans are saying no, fans want change. I'm here to bring the change back.
Well, you know what? They bought into that storyline. They played that up in the storyline to get support for Shane, but they don't believe it, Tommy. They don't believe anything's wrong with the product.
No, I know.
Like, you've seen that meme online of, well, it's from this episode of The Simpsons, where Seymour Skinner goes, could it be that I'm wrong? My way of doing things are wrong? And then he goes, no, that's not it. It's the children. The children are wrong. But that's what WWE's like. They're like, people don't seem to like this. What a bunch of assholes. That must be the minority. Like, they hear boos and they're like, well, people think it's cool to boo. Or, like, even on Raw there the other night, after Roman Reigns did the big beatdown Triple H and got booed hideously for it, then Vince McMahon came out in a segment and goes, the crowd's terrible tonight. Like, there's just some mental block. They don't think that what they're doing is wrong. They just think that something's wrong with the crowd.
But like I said,
when you start talking about that Roman,
like I said, like Vince should take a step back and say, okay, I'm going to be chairman of the board.
Let's focus on Shane Taker right now, okay?
Oh yeah, but I'm leading into that though. Right?
He's not going to lead into it.
Alright, let's go. Okay.
After this, we'll get him to tell you the story how he fell down black ice. It's just horrible. He's going to kill me.
It's on camera, though.
As soon as this camera goes on.
So, now is the point in the video where all the bile comes out. Because now we're going to talk about Mr. Shield. Oh, they don't want him to call you that. Just to say that he has no personality, and the only credible thing that's about him is that he was a member of the Shield. So they gave him the Shield music, gave him the Shield entrance, and said, everybody else do something different. Roman was the Shield.
I like how they line the stairwell with kids and women and guys wearing Roman t-shirts.
Yeah, that they gave them. Because you can't sell a Roman t-shirt as WWE now.
Going through 5 or 6 so far, isn't it?
Yeah. Restock. No, hold on. Let's go back here. His catchphrase is hit hard, hit often. That was the one going into last year's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the opposite. Restock less, not very often. Yeah. So anyways, you said I'm going to let you two talk. Before we even talk about the match, I'm just going to let both of you talk and share your feelings on Roman Reigns. And the company.
Okay, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. It's not people are on the internet, like especially Twitter. If you boo or don't like Roman Reigns, they come at you now and say, "Oh, you're just on the bandwagon to boo him." It's like, no, well, we don't like him. It's not because it's cool to not like him. It's because I can't say he sucks. He has gotten better from last year, marginally.
Okay.
His mic skills are still abysmal. And another thing that I noticed is that
you sell out, suffer, and succotash.
Yeah. Where was I going with this?
No.
He's poopy.
Yeah, he is poopy.
No, just keep going.
Alright. You have people like Stone Cold and Triple H and HBK and Undertaker. When they were given the belt, they were already at their peak or just about to hit their peak.
They'd already passed their peak, is the thing. Every single
Roman was nowhere near it. So why give him the belt and then force it on everybody? Like, as WWE fans, we're not stupid.
Yeah.
We can see this shit from a mile away, especially you. You call matches like 3 or 4 months in advance.
Yeah.
I did do that.
Yeah, a couple times. But it's the fact that we don't want them, and it's the minority that's
But we don't know what we want.
louder.
We don't know what we want. Vince knows what we want.
But if you go back, if you watch Legends with JBL, the one he did with Road Dogg, the WWE brass, like the company working themselves, they see it the other way around. So they're like the people booing and stuff. They're the minority. That's what they say.
What? I don't know. I tend to disagree.
Yeah.
I choose to disagree.
Yep. Yep. And I've read a couple of articles, well, quote unquote, around articles about like the Roman thing, where it's like someone called it the Cena effect, where just one person gets to have it for so many years. Now they're choosing Roman to do it. Why?
Okay, I wasn't going to talk until it was my turn. Sorry for jumping in here, Tom, but I do want to say something about this. History and Vince have a way of repeating themselves. So, years and years ago, Vince McMahon built his company on the Golden Goose, Hulk Hogan. So Hulk Hogan was in power for like 12 years, where he was the man. Then the time came when it was the end of Hulk Hogan, and things were changing, wrestling fans were changing, they wanted more of an athletic, younger type breed, and Vince saw this coming, so he was going with the youth movement. But he has a hard time letting go. So instead of going with the obvious choice, let's go with the Shawn Michaels, let's go with the Bret Harts and stuff like that, he decided, nope, I need another Hogan, bam, Lex Luger. And that's what he did. He forced Lex Luger to become the new Hulk Hogan, and it didn't work. Now, skip ahead, almost 20 years, 20 years exactly, 22 years, and you've got another situation where he's had his Hulk Hogan again in John Cena, and you can say whatever you want about John Cena. John Cena gets a lot of credibility to me because he built himself up, deserved to be there. It went on too long, and it was too much, but he deserved to be there before he was there. And the thing is, now he realizes, well, Cena's kind of run its course. I need to get another Cena right away. So he's forcing Roman Reigns to be that guy, forcing that package because he seems to have some kind of sexual crush relation. So he's trying to make Roman Reigns be the new Cena. But what he's doing is he's repeating the mistake, and Roman Reigns is actually the new Lex Luger. he's okay, but he's not what we want. We're tired of that. We've had 10 years of Cena. Give us something fresh. Where's our Bret Harts? Where's our Shawn Michaels? That's my comment on that.
No, my thing is just like I said. I mean, Roman he's okay in the ring. I mean, like you said, he's not a John Cena. The John Cena thing went on too long. You're right.
Yeah.
But why Roman? Why didn't they pick someone else? Like, why didn't they give?
He has the look.
He has the look.
I guess that's what it is.
It's the most disgusting thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, you hear guys like Michael P.S. Hayes and like these backstage guys and the guys down in developmental, and like it doesn't matter how good somebody is coming in. Someone could come in like Johnny Gargano down in NXT now, who's like one of the most amazing wrestlers, and they're like, he doesn't have it though. So then you got Joe Anoa'i, or whatever Roman Reigns' real name is, walks in and he's like, they're like, he's got it. He's never ever stepped in a ring, never done anything, but they're like, there's a presence about him. And like people get so fixated on that, it's like they get giant boners in their pants and they're like, boing, he's got it. You know what? I mean, my boner factor.
But they could have did this for Kevin Owens. They could have did it for.
They wouldn't do it for Kevin Owens.
No, I know, because he doesn't have the look. Yeah. What I'm saying, but logistically, like they could have did it for Owens, built up his career, for Ambrose. They could have did it for anybody.
They reluctantly did it for Daniel Bryan because the crowd was organically behind them.
See, the thing is, I don't have a problem with a big guy.
No,
I don't have any issue with that.
Why Roman? That's the question. Why? Like,
okay, I understand what your question is, Tommy, and no one knows, except for the fact that he walked in, he has a legacy behind him, and they thought he had the look. Because he kind of, sort of looks like Khal Drogo from Game of Thrones, and they said, this guy is going to get us a female demographic we've never had before. This guy's going to bring in the kids, can replace the John Cena stuff. He's going to meet a lot of kids that are dying.
Dying to get him out of the ring, yes.
But you understand what I mean?
Yeah,
it's more marketing than anything else. They don't give a shit about the wrestling. Honestly, for everybody who complains about it, and you watch all these WWE documentaries on like the rise and fall of WCW, and they talk about, well, the corporate brass from Time Warner just killed WCW. Newsflash: WWE is a publicly traded company with the corporate brass like Time Warner had back in the day. You know what you got right now? WWE right now is WCW in the shit days. Like, you even look at the shows, they're burning through shows, they're rewriting at the last minute. This is the heyday of WCW when it went to shit. Yeah. It's the same thing. And like WWE's currently doing programming talking about how WCW went downhill and making the same mistakes. Yeah. It's incredible.
That's what I'm saying. There got to be a whole new change in the brass at WWE. Like, Vince got to get out of the chair and say, listen.
I don't know if it's Vince. I think it's a combination. But it's like, if you take Vince out of the picture, you got the same idiots and sycophants that are the agents and stuff like that. Yeah. And they're going with this old school mentality that like, he's got the look. And like, honestly, how many guys have been forced down our throats that couldn't wrestle because they were bigger? Like, I watched a clip of Ultimate Warrior and Sting back when they were the Blade Runners, Rock, and I forget what Sting's name is. And it showed Ultimate Warrior, like, back then when he was wrestling. He almost killed a guy. He picked him up in a gorilla press slam and couldn't slam him, dropped him, like, face down. Yeah. And I'm like, this guy became world champion in like 5 years. Yeah.
But I just think, like I said, I don't know. They got to kind of do a complete overhaul and say, the fans aren't liking it. The fans don't like it. Our face of WWE didn't like him. Something's wrong. I don't know if it's us. Something got to change. Something got to give. Right?
Well, it's almost like they're trying to take a square peg and stick it in a round hole.
Exactly.
Like, it makes no sense. Like, they're going so against the company. And, like, I'll never forget that moment on the Austin podcast where Vince sits down, talk about the brass ring, talk about everything, and he goes, I'm a good listener. How are you a good listener? How in any capacity are you a good listener? And like the comments they keep making about like, I don't know why everybody boos Roman Reigns. Like, it's a thing for TV. They're trying to be cool because at the house shows, like, he's way over. Like, they're loving him.
What I don't understand is, if you want a champion, you don't need him to gradually get better. He should already be better or just pass.
Well, if you want a champion, polling out, like, say, who are people filling the seats for? Who are they cheering? Who do the fans want to be? Then you say, you kind of base it on that. Not saying all what the fans want, but I mean, if people are booing Reigns and booing him out of arenas, why would you make him a champion?
Right. I'll say this. and this is the last thing before we actually just talk about the match, because the match will be okay. Triple H is a hell of a worker. Yeah. They're gonna be okay. Roman's gonna win. We all know what's gonna happen. Yeah. WrestleMania is gonna go off with the biggest chorus of boos ever. Yeah. Like, there is no way of changing that. The thing that I don't understand is they talk about, like, this guy will never get over, that guy will never get over. What they've done with Roman Reigns is the hardest push they have ever given anybody. Ever over the course of the last 2 years. The hardest push they've ever given anybody. Like, they could basically send him back in time and have him kill Hitler. And people will still boo. Like, there is nothing you can do. What point do you realize this is a mistake? Yeah. At what point do you realize you can't do this?
You just said it. They're trying to make another Cena. Cena was good on the mic. He was good, you know, in the early days he was good in the ring. Like, you know, he's a good wrestler overall.
Yeah.
Roman has the look.
Yeah.
He needs so much work. Why bother pushing that?
They had to sculpt him into the John Cena they want him to. They can't just say, "Here you go, you're John Cena. Have fun."
No.
Right? Like, but that's what Vince is doing. That's what they're doing. They're just saying, "Here you go, you're next on the list. Have fun." Like, it's not going to work. Like,
anyways, we could talk till the sun comes down about, like, how it doesn't make sense where they're going with Roman Reigns. The end of the day question is, that's they're just talk now. It's not going to be main event, but the world title is the world title. So much of WrestleMania is going to be looked at as the show closes, and the appropriate thing to do is to put your title on last. So if that's the last match, and nothing happens, no audibles are called, Roman Reigns is going to win the main event, and there's no option for an audible to be called here now because there's no Money in the Bank or anything.
No.
Is this going to be the year of 100,000 boos? Is this going to be, like, are people going to leave WrestleMania absolutely spiteful? Because you got to remember, this is not just people at home, like, let's complain on the internet.
No.
Cancel WWE Network, move out of my mom's basement. Like, this is 100,000 smart fan. People traveling to WrestleMania, traveling for what was advertised as the biggest WrestleMania ever. And it's going to end with the most sour note in WrestleMania history.
I think it's going to hurt the company more.
I don't know. A lot of wrestling fans are like, you know how you have, like, a hurt tooth you keep on poking at to see if it still hurts? That's the way wrestling fans are.
I'm not saying anybody's going to go away.
Yeah.
It's just, like, how do you, as a wrestling promoter, want to leave your show that way with people booing? And not good boo.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? There's good boo. Ric Flair beats Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. That's a good boo. That's because, like, that's a heel. That's a heel that... But this is your top face being booed with no chance of savior. No. Like, honestly, if they think that The Rock's going to come out and people are going to cheer, no, they're not.
It didn't work before.
It didn't work at Rumble. It's not going to work again.
No.
Like, The Rock is not going to get Roman over. Like I told you, going back in time to kill Hitler, to stop World War II, would not get Reigns over.
No.
So unless they had this huge secret that nobody knows about in order to change the ending of what we know is going to happen, I just don't know what else they can do.
Yeah, we want to throw hypotheticals out there now. Shane does beat Taker, and then after Roman wins, Shane comes out and goes, "No, that's not going to work," and then brings out a guy and have him beat Roman on the spot. That's like the only thing they can do.
Yeah. That would be it. I mean, I don't know. I think
would Triple H winning save it? Because here's what I think.
I don't know.
Here's what I think could happen.
I don't know.
They may delay it a month. What they might do is have Triple H retain, and then Roman will just win it at Backlash. They've done that a couple times.
Yeah, just to save face for
the
ending.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Don't get me wrong. Next year is the year of Roman. They've got him booked right up until WrestleMania next year as champ. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be awful. There's nothing he can do. Like, what they should have learned last year was when he was reacted to during the WrestleMania build, the way he was, they had to not repackage him, but they had to go right back to the bottom. And they actually came out and they told the fans that. They're like, nope, Roman Reigns will not get another shot. He's got to go right back to the bottom. But the bottom was he wrestled Big Show, which, honestly, I like Show. That's not the bottom.
No.
And then he wrestled, like, one other guy, and he was right back in the title picture. He never went anywhere.
No.
Like, he was always right there. Like, they never had him earn it. Like, going back down to the bottom is making his way, winning the Intercontinental title, learning how to work a match, learning how to work a promo.
Yeah.
But they didn't.
What I understand is they have an opportunity handed to them on a plate to make him a heel. fans already hate him. Why not just go with that? That will draw money.
But they had an opportunity last year.
Exactly.
Basically, they have an opportunity that anybody who beats Roman Reigns and screws him out of title chance is the top guy in the company. Like, honestly, like, if Dean Ambrose had won the Rumble and won the title, like, you would not have got one complaint. Like, fans would be so jacked up for WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah,
didn't matter if everybody was injured. It wouldn't matter if it was Dean Ambrose wrestles a broom in the only match of WrestleMania for 4.5 hours for the WWE title. People be like, this is awesome! Not Roman!
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Put it bluntly, yes.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think people are going to leave WrestleMania with a really
I heard
sour
rumors
taste
of people walking out during the match.
I
don't know if that's going to go that far, though.
WrestleMania 27, I went to the Raw after WrestleMania. WrestleMania, I didn't notice it so much. I was up in, like, row 8 or whatever, right next to the ringside. But I was in the stands for the Raw the night after, and when John Cena came out, honestly, there was a good majority of the section got up and turned their backs on it until he got out of the ring. And I got a feeling you'll get stuff like that happen.
Wow.
Like...
That's not as noticeable as getting up, walking out, and leaving empty seats.
There's nothing you can do to process this. The reality is, if you want to watch WWE's the biggest and best game, you watch it.
You deal with it.
And, like, basically you just gotta... That's the other thing, too. Like, he doesn't give a shit. Like, honestly, Vince does not give a shit. No. Because Vince goes, oh, you don't like Roman as the champion? Well, you wanted AJ Styles. He's got a match with Jericho #2, so there's something on the card for everybody. Honestly, that's his opinion.
Yeah.
He says, if you don't like what we have in the main event, well, there's something else on the card for you somewhere.
And the thing is, there's no win-win with this match, because if they do put, the third match from the last, the fans are going to be exhausted from booing, and it's going to kill the rest of the show.
Oh, yeah.
And then if they have it last, fans are still going to boo.
Well, it's almost like they do counterproductive booking sometimes, too, because they'll book, like, a brutal match where people are going to, like, either get their heart beat or whatever, and then right after it, they'll put someone that you want to like. Like, if you go back through Jericho's career and stuff like that, and I'm not saying they try to sabotage him, or like Dolph Ziggler's, they'll have him have a match right after, like, one of the big matches, hot matches, with a disappointing finish, and the crowd are, like, dead, and then they're like, told you that Ziggler couldn't get over. But yet Roman gets booed while he's beating up Triple H, and they're like, bad crowd tonight.
I know what they want.
Okay, and the last thing I'll say, because we're on this Roman Reigns boo thing, not WrestleMania, but the build-up to WrestleMania, SmackDown. Roman Reigns came out to do a promo, he got booed out of the building, people did videos, put it online, because they knew in post-production, because where SmackDown's pre-taped, it was going to be changed to cheers, WWE went online and actually had all the videos taken down off YouTube.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Like, that's the pathetic thing. So, there's a chance, I think, that they're going to save WrestleMania themselves by pre-taping it by about 5 minutes.
Delaying it by 5 minutes.
Delaying it by 5 minutes. I guarantee you, there's a chance that'll happen. And I'd love to hear the live feed, because they know they're going to get all those boos.
How are you going to edit out 100,000 people booing?
Same way you edit out 20,000 people booing on SmackDown. You pipe in the cheers.
I suppose.
It doesn't take much. Like, if they can go in and take songs from 30 years ago completely out of an audio track and then add something else in, you can add cheers in pretty quick.
Yeah, I guess.
If you know how to do it.
Yeah. And they got a whole team of people to do it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we'll see.
So anyways, like, that's what I'm going to be waiting for. I'm going to be waiting for weird WrestleMania started 5 minutes early.
You want to get on, like, Periscope and see if you can see a live feed from WrestleMania.
Honestly, like, they're at the point, and I hate to say this, but it's true. Like, they're upsetting people so much with this. Like,
they're really fans.
No, I'm talking about something really bad's going to happen. Some asshole is going to be crazy enough to do something about this. Like, they've already had a couple people attack Roman Reigns. Like, people are fanatics. Like, there are people that are fanatics. Someone's going to do something fanatical.
Yeah.
Now, like, coming back to the publicly traded part that you mentioned, if you're an investor and you're there watching and you see, like, Vince's guy getting booed out of the building, what are you as an investor going to think? Like,
they don't care. The seats are filled. They don't care.
Well, they do, because there will be a reaction afterwards.
Yeah, but the seats are filled. They don't care. They get the money.
See, the problem with it is, like, we've been complaining, wrestling's been shit. Wrestling has been shit for about 3 years now. There's some good sprinkled in every now and then, but wrestling, WWE, the product WWE, for all extents and purposes, for the last 3 years has been shit and getting steadily shittier.
Yeah.
And you watch and you're like, oh man, things are going to change. Things are going to have to change. And then every quarter, WWE brings up record earnings. So what does it matter? They don't care if we're gone.
They don't care.
They don't care. They don't
because
care.
the younger generation is going to come in. But see, I think this too is, a lot of us, like our age, in late 30s,
We're spoiled with the attitude.
Exactly.
It's not the attitude era. I'm so sick of everybody saying, "Oh man, the attitude era was awesome." The attitude era wasn't awesome.
It was entertaining.
The attitude era was entertaining, but it wasn't the attitude that made it entertaining.
No.
There was consistent writing. Everybody on the card meant something, and that's the problem. They don't now. For some reason, they book around one guy and one guy only. And they're like throwing bones to other people. Book the whole goddamn show.
Yes.
The Attitude Era wasn't awesome because of the attitude.
No,
it was because everybody meant something and every storyline mattered.
Exactly.
Everybody got a reaction when he came out. Doesn't matter who it was.
Didn't matter because there was something going on. There was something with them.
Yeah.
Hell, even the Job Squad, like the Job Squad would come out and you're like, that's awesome. They're doing awesome stuff. They have a storyline. Things are happening for them. But it doesn't happen. Like CM Punk said it, and I don't know how accurate it is, but CM Punk said, you go to the show and they only have stuff prepared for one guy. Cena. That's it. Like, that's all they care about. Yeah. Everybody else, like, honestly, you're just fighting against, like, writers that have no idea about wrestling. Yeah. And I don't know. I'm not the biggest CM Punk mark in the world, but it does kind of make sense because you're scratching your head watching this shit sometimes. You're like, why do I care about anybody else than the people that you're putting in the main event? Because that's the only storyline written. You can tell it.
I think
you can smell it. You can feel it.
The writers are locked in a room with no outside communication at all. Say, here.
It's like The Simpsons with like the 100 monkeys.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're getting off track here because this was supposed to be about WrestleMania. Overall, do you feel this show has a possibility of being good? Because last year's WrestleMania was like,
very good. I enjoyed it.
It was incredible. It was great WrestleMania. But going into it, I was like, I don't know. But it ended up being amazing.
I don't know. I'm getting mixed reviews about it.
I'd like to see possibly Cesaro return. I don't know how well his arm is. I know I've been seeing pictures of him doing going around the world touring and doing, I guess, PR stuff, and his arm's in a cast. So I don't know if...
We're almost like an hour into this. Hurry up, guys.
Yeah. So I'd like to see him come back. If he came back, I think that would be a nice improvement.
I don't know. I think it's gonna... I got no words for it. I really don't. I'm not expecting too much because I know, like I said, it's gonna be disappointing. If something major happens, like they said, this big, huge twist, that they just ace in their sleeve, that'll change it. But I think I'm like the rest of the fans are just gonna say, well, this is something.
You'll watch it, see what happens.
Watch it, see what happens, and
From a wrestling perspective, it'll be a fine show. There'll be some good wrestling. People are gonna try, but at the end of the day, I mean, no one's gonna care about anything that happens there because nothing's exciting.
No.
So that's it. Anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you watch wrestling, tell me what you think of, wrestling leading up.Maybe you're a Roman Reigns fan and you want to try to convince us that we're wrong about Roman and you can say why. You can do whatever the hell you want. It's probably not going to work. Nothing. And I mean that. Not even going back in time and killing Hitler will fix this. Anyways, guys, Michael B. the Game Genie. That's the first time I've talked about wrestling, and depending on how this goes, maybe it's not the last.